Rain may look simple, but every drop that lands on your window has taken part in one of Earth's greatest cycles, the water cycle. It's been running non-stop for billions of years, and without it there would be no oceans, no forests, no rivers, and no life at all. The sun, the invisible engine of rain. Everything begins with the sun. Its radiation warms the surface of our planet every single day. Oceans, lakes, rivers, soil, and even the leaves of plants absorb this energy. Molecules of water, once calm, begin to vibrate more and more. Some gain enough speed to break free from the liquid and escape into the air as water vapor and invisible gas. This invisible escape act is called evaporation. It might seem like nothing special when you watch a puddle dry after the rain, but multiply that by every ocean, river, and forest on Earth, and you realize every day, trillions of liters of water rise into the atmosphere. More than just evaporation. Evaporation is the biggest contributor, but it's not the only way water reaches the skies. Transpiration plants are constantly sweating. Through tiny pores on their leaves, they release vapor into the atmosphere. A rainforest, in fact, creates its own weather. Evapotranspiration, the combined output of water rising from soil and plants together. Sublimation. In polar regions and on mountaintops, ice and snow can transform straight into vapor without melting first. Add these processes up, and you have an atmosphere that is constantly being refueled with water vapor like an invisible reservoir above our heads. Warm air rises and takes water with it. Here's the next step. Warm air is lighter than cold air. That means air heated near Earth's surface naturally rises. As it goes up, it carries the freshly evaporated water vapor with it. But the higher the air rises, the cooler it becomes. At some point, it cools so much that the vapor can't stay in gas form anymore. The molecules begin to cling to microscopic particles floating in the air, dust, bits of salt from the ocean, even pollen grains. These particles become the seeds of clouds. Clouds, factories of rain, billions of tiny droplets, each one no bigger than a fraction of a hair's width cluster together around those particles. At first they are too small to fall, too light to escape the constant push of rising air. But collectively, they form the white or gray masses we know as clouds. Not all clouds are the same, though. Cirrus clouds, delicate ice crystal wisps high in the atmosphere. Beautiful but no rain. Cumulonimbus clouds, gigantic thunderclouds, climbing higher than Mount Everest. Inside them, the drama of storms begins. Nimbostratus clouds, thick gray blankets that can stretch for hundreds of kilometers, delivering long, steady rains. A cloud is essentially a floating water tank. Whether it drifts harmlessly across the sky or unleashes a torrential storm depends on what happens inside it next. Inside the cloud, a hidden world. If you could shrink yourself down and float inside a cloud, you wouldn't find cotton candy or fluff. You'd discover an ocean of microscopic water droplets and ice crystals, each so tiny they can hover in the air for hours. Individually, they are weightless. Together, they hold enough water to drench entire cities. But here's the paradox. Clouds don't always rain. For droplets to fall, they must grow. And the way they grow is a story of physics, chance, and even competition. Two main pathways to raindrops: collision and coalescence. The gathering game as droplets swirl inside a cloud. They sometimes collide. When they stick together, they form a bigger drop. That drop falls a little faster, which lets it collide with even more droplets, growing larger with every moment. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, collecting everything in its path. Except here, it's water falling through turbulent air. The Bergeron process, the ice advantage in colder clouds where water and ice coexist, another process takes over. Water vapor prefers to deposit on ice crystals rather than liquid droplets. The ice crystals grow bigger and bigger, while the tiny droplets shrink. Eventually, the heavy ice crystals fall and melt on their way down, becoming raindrops. Together, these two processes are the hidden factories inside clouds that decide whether we get drizzle, steady rain, or a downpour. When does rain actually start? A droplet must reach a critical size to break free from the cloud. Usually that means a diameter of about 0.2 millimeters, just big enough for gravity to overpower the upward push of air currents. Before that, the tiniest drops are recycled, pushed up again and again, waiting to grow. Once enough droplets cross the threshold, the sky releases them in a cascade, what we see as rain. Why light showers and why torrential storms? Light rain, drizzle. When air currents are weak, droplets don't have much time to collide and grow. They remain small, falling slowly as fine mist. Heavy downpours. In massive storm clouds, powerful updrafts keep drops suspended, letting them grow enormous. When gravity finally wins, they fall in sheets of water, sometimes mixed with hailstones. Virga the rain that never lands. Sometimes raindrops form but evaporate before reaching the ground. From below, it looks like ghostly streaks hanging from the clouds, fading midair. Raindrops. Not what cartoons show. We often imagine raindrops as teardrops, but reality is different. Small drops are nearly perfect spheres. Larger ones flatten into a hamburger bun shape because air pressure pushes on the bottom. The largest drops, around 5-6 mm across, can't hold together and often split into smaller drops before hitting the ground. The music of rain. When drops finally land, they play one of nature's most universal soundtracks. A drizzle creates a soft, whispering patter. A steady rain becomes a soothing rhythm, often used in relaxation music. A tropical storm with giant drops pounding the earth sounds like 1,000 drums beating at once. The sound of rain is more than background noise. It is the voice of the sky, carrying the story of clouds, air currents, and gravity all the way to the ground. Rain, the lifeline of fresh water. Every river you've ever seen, every glass of water you've ever drunk, and every green field across the world. All of it exists because of rain. Although our planet is covered by oceans, only about 3% of Earth's water is fresh, and most of that is locked away in ice caps and glaciers. Rainfall is the main way that fresh water is delivered to the surface, recharging lakes, rivers, aquifers, and soils. Without rain, agriculture would collapse, forests would wither, and civilization as we know it would not survive. Each raindrop is not just water, it is life delivered from the sky. Rain and climate shaping civilizations. Rain doesn't fall equally everywhere. Its patterns have defined ecosystems and civilizations for thousands of years. Monsoons. In India and Southeast Asia, monsoon rains are lifelines for crops and drinking water. Too weak and famine threatens. Too strong and floods devastate entire regions. Deserts, where rain is almost absent, barren landscapes stretch for miles. The Sahara exists because rainfall is blocked by global wind patterns. Temperate zones' balanced rainfall allows fertile soils, farmlands, and the rise of great civilizations. Rain is not just weather, it is a geopolitical force. Where it falls, life flourishes. Where it does not, survival is a struggle. When rain turns dangerous, for all its gifts, rain can also be destructive. Floods. Extended heavy rains can swell rivers and lakes, sweeping away homes and farmland. Landslides. In mountain regions, saturated soil becomes unstable, collapsing downhill with devastating force. Hurricanes and cyclones. These storms combine violent winds with torrential rain, unleashing destruction across coastlines. A single thunderstorm can release more water than some cities consume in years. Rain is a dual-edged sword, nurturing life in one moment and threatening it the next. Rain in culture and myth, humans have always looked at the sky with hope or fear, depending on the clouds above. Ancient cultures often linked rain with gods and rituals. Egyptians prayed to deities for the Nile's flooding rains. Native American tribes performed rain dances, believing they could call down showers to save their crops. In modern culture, rain appears in poems, films, and songs, symbolizing everything from sadness to rebirth. Rain is not just physical, it is deeply emotional, tied to our imagination and spirit. The future of rain in a changing world, as the planet warms, the nature of rain is shifting. A warmer atmosphere can hold more water vapor, about 7% more per degree Celsius. This means heavier, more frequent downpours in many regions, longer, harsher droughts in others, increased risk of flash floods in cities and crop failures in farmlands. Europe is already seeing more sudden, extreme rainfall. Meanwhile, regions like Africa and the Middle East face expanding droughts. The rhythm of rain is becoming unpredictable, and that uncertainty will shape the future of humanity. Final reflection: the next time you feel raindrops on your skin, remember the journey they've taken from ocean to sky, from cloud to earth, and back again. Rain is part of a never-ending cycle, a dance between energy and water that has been running since the dawn of Earth. It is at once ordinary and miraculous. Ordinary because it happens every day. Miraculous because without it there would be no life, no rivers, no forests, no us. Rain is the heartbeat of our planet, both a gift and a warning, a reminder that Earth is alive, dynamic, and always changing.